guys, welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply. I'm holding the mic today. I had my webcam take a shit, bought a new one, can't figure out how to make it not zoom in, so I'm like leaned back away. Let me show you real quick. This is me sitting in front of the computer at the distance I regularly would, so don't feel like messing around with it right now. I'm going to buy a nicer one later. This will just get the job done for the time being. But I gotta get my deck profile to you guys, you know. So this week we got wind-ups. Actually, before we get started, I want to thank you guys so much. Hit 100 subs. It may not seem like a huge deal, but to me, it is everything. So thank you guys so very much for that. And if you haven't yet, hit me with that sub. Anyway, we got wind-ups this week, and this was kind of a nightmare to build. I will tell you ahead of time, the deck is not very good. It's pretty fragile, but I am proud of what I was able to build out of it. Make it do, which is essentially like turn one board. You gotta go first. If you're going second, you lose. If they shut you down even once on like a rat or a magician, you're totally screwed. You're getting beat. So you gotta go first, and you gotta be able to play through a hand trap, or not get hit by a hand trap rather. So we don't actually play the called by, because the odds of you drawing the one called by are like, what's the point? You might as well play 3 of everything that you might need and just hope for the best. But turn 1, goal is to go Borland plus Baguska and pass, which obviously seems kind of crazy, right? A link 5 plus a rank 4 is doable. I mean, like, you have a very direct combo line to it. It's just super fragile. So we'll get right into this here. We got triple magician, triple shark, triple rat. So these are your standard wind-ups. So magician, when a wind-up effect is activated, he gets to special summon a wind-up from your deck, level 4 or lower, which is the only ones we play. I actually don't think there is a above level 4 wind-up, unless I'm forgetting something. Shark, when a wind-up is normal or special summon, he can summon himself from the hand. Also, he can increase or decrease his level by 1. So both of those are super relevant for this deck. The level modulation, not for any specific summon, but more for triggering the magician's effect. And then the rat, you can turn him to defense mode and then special summon a wind-up from your graveyard in defense mode. So basically you would rat into a magician effect to, or a shark effect to summon out of hand, and then you have 3 monsters on board plus whatever magician summons. And then the only other wind-up we play is Kitten. So I saw a lot of decks. So first thing I do when I build one of these decks, especially a weird one, is I try to find a couple recent builds from other people to see what ideas people are working with, and they just weren't good in my mind. I thought they just weren't. They were bad. Like, you didn't even have a chance of creating a decent turn 1 board at all, let alone playing through a whole game with them. Like, I've stolen a couple games with this. And you're likely going to get smoked, but those decks just don't give you a chance. So I wanted to build around having the best chance possible to even win a game. And so those decks were playing, the one that pulls out of the opponent's hand is a Hunter that rips out of the hand. The card sucks. You're not really in a position to be able to loop it because we don't have Zen Matey. So you're going to pull one card out of the hand, and then you have a body on board that you can't link away because you had to tribute your other monster to use its effect, and whatever. It's a whole mess. So Kitten is by far the best one. It's a compulse, and you can kind of recycle it and compulse multiple times a turn, or like once every turn or whatever. So it's a pretty decent card. It's a level 2, which sucks for the whole Baguska deal, but you really don't need it to be anything other than that. You wouldn't summon it unless you needed the bounce. And then the turns that you do need the bounce, it's actually pretty cool to bounce and then just link it away. Now, we play triple rescue cat. Our only targets are wind-up rat, and I guess the Kitten too. But this is kind of important just as a backup to magician. I'll explain that in a second. Triple world legacy world crown, that goes along with the successions and the lib down here. So it can special summon itself to a zone a link monster points to. It's got a secondary effect to negate effects by tributing itself. I don't use it at all because I'm going to special summon, I'm going to link it away immediately, and then it being in the graveyard lets me use the lib effect to use the world succession, and yeah. And then triple Ash Blossom, which can be whatever hand traps you like. Ash obviously is the best one. Also, we got the reprint coming in the Megatins, as well as in the Crystal Beast structure deck coming out in the next month. So might as well play the Ash if you can get the Ash. Draw our Pot of Avarice, shuffle back 5 from the graveyard, draw 2. It's pretty good. This deck will eliminate every resource you have within a turn or two, so being able to just throw a few back in the deck for the draw is kind of cool if you draw it. Triple Factory, it's part of the combo. It's not something you really want to draw, but they stack. Factory, when a wind-up effect is activated, it searches a wind-up to your hand. Really all you're using it for is to search Shark, more or less, because your main goal is to just make a humongous turn 1 play and pass. So you want to be able to get to this if you can. You're either going to search it off of the Zen Maintenance, or you're going to draw it, or you don't necessarily need it for the combo to even go through, but it's in there. It's a pretty cool card, and it's like an OG portion of the deck, so leave it. These 7 might seem like overkill. Absolutely got to have it. So we got 1 Monster Reborn, triple Zen Malfunction, and triple World Legacy Succession. Essentially, they're all kind of Monster Reborn. So this one will special summon a wind-up in defense mode to negate its effects. This one will special summon from the graveyard to a zone a link monster points to, and then you guys know what Monster Reborn does. It's just like if you open the main combo line plus one of these recursions, you can build a pretty nasty board. You just gotta get super lucky with that opening hand. So we play 7. I was playing Call of the Haunted before, but really if you're hoping to go for recursion and then push after turn 1, you're probably in a pretty bad spot anyway. So I cut them and just bumped this and this up to 3 apiece, and then left this in here. Triple Pot of Prosperity. This is also in that Mega Tin, otherwise I probably wouldn't include it in a deck that has a core that costs a total of like $8. To play $300 worth of pots is probably not worth, but I think now they're going to be a little bit cheaper, and you absolutely need it. So the main combo line is done through Magician and Shark, and I'll show you guys at the end what this looks like. And you need that. If you don't have that, you can still kind of make plays, but Magician plus Shark is the way to go. That's what wins you games. So you can usually get one or the other most of the time. Prosperity is just try to dig for the one you're missing. Foolish Burial is just for the rat. You want to throw something in the graveyard to rat back to the field. And then these last 6 can kind of be whatever back row you want. Or if you wanted more draw power or something because you're really going all in on the turn 1 like lockdown. But I think if you're going first and it's turn 1, you probably want something in the back row to try to shut your opponent down. So you got the Ash, the Imperm to negate some stuff, and then the Judgment to really just say no. So that's your main deck. And then for the extra deck, we'll start from this side. Double Baguska. It could be 1. I played 2 just because you can make it more than once. The Shark and the Totally Awesome. If this were to get banned on the upcoming list, I would say just cut this all together. It doesn't really matter. I almost never even summon it. It's mostly just Baguska is your rank 4 play. Double Zen Maintenance. So this thing seems super underwhelming to me when it came out initially. I was a big fan of windups when I got back into the game, right around Dragon Ruler format. I was playing windups because I couldn't afford the Dragon Ruler stuff, and so I had a little bit of a history with the deck, played at a few locals when I was coming back, and it was cool. So when I saw they were getting new support, I was pretty excited, and then when I saw it was this thing, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? It turns out this thing's pretty cool. Like, as far as wind-up monsters go, this thing is probably best bang for your buck. So it's a Link 2, uses 2 wind-ups. On summon, it searches a wind-up to your hand, so typically it'll be Magician, Shark, Magician to special summon Rat, Link away Shark, Magician for this guy, and then you're going to search this thing, is typically how I run that play. And then it has a second effect. You can banish a wind-up you control face down, and then special summon that same monster from your deck, the same name. So typically, you know, when you summon the Magician, it puts the monster in defense mode, so when you summon the rat off the Magician, you can't use its effect. Maintenance will then banish the rat to special summon a new rat in attack mode, and then you can use that rat to summon your Magician back, and then go nuts. And then you got that search off of the factory. So if you didn't want to play the factory at all, you could still play the same combo. You would just search the extra Shark off of the Zen Maintenance summon instead of the factory. 1 Lib, so just 2 monsters, and then it can search one of your successions. So it can allow you. I really won't summon this unless I had this used already and then linked into the graveyard, because you need to be able to use the effect to search this and then activate this to continue link climbing. So that's what that's there for. One dark, don't summon at all, can be whatever you want. One Cerberus, don't summon at all, you can be whatever you want. One Phoenix and one Unicorn. These kind of get used. This thing, if I don't use it for the bounce, or even if I do use it for the bounce, it's kind of a link climb for the access code, along with Selene, just because you want to be able to banish it to get that extra attack point on the access code. But popping back row and bouncing stuff is cool. One Selene, because Wind Up Magician is a spellcaster, so you kind of just have that built in there, but you don't really need it. This kind of does the same thing this does for you. Let me change that. I can't be having these out of order. One access code. You guys know what access code does. It's pretty good in this deck considering the amount of link summoning we're doing. One Underworld Goddess, also getting that reprint coming up soon. It's kind of like a Lava Golem or Kaiju type deal. Not really. You still summon it, but you can use your opponent's monsters. And it's a link 5, and it's got some nice effect action going on there. So it's in there. I don't use it nearly as much because it doesn't have the same kind of like floodgatey, lockdowny type of effects that I'm looking for out of this deck. And then my big boss monster, Boral End Dragon. I really just wanted a deck that could use this thing because I don't have one or haven't played one that can use it. The thing's super cheap. I got a bunch of them sitting in a box just waiting for the day that everybody realizes how great it is. So I forced it in here, and it's kind of cool. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, neither player can target this card with monster effects. Can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. The second effect doesn't matter because it requires you have a rocket monster, which I wasn't willing to make room for in the deck, but I suppose you could play around with it if you want to. And so ultimately the goal would be Boral End plus Baguska, and I'll show you how you do that in a second. And then for the side deck, it's not complete because it's not complete. Some board breaker action with Dark Ruler. It could be droplets. I wanted the deck to be somewhat cheaper because it's not a very good deck. So like if you wanted to build it in real life, hopefully you're not spending like $600 on staples to just fill the rest of the deck with wind-ups. But yeah, it's totally up to you. Double Zombie World and one Necro Banshee, just because monster types don't matter to you at all. They're all just bodies to link summon, but it can kind of lock down other decks. And then Ghost Spell. The rest of them could be like Droll, Effect Veiler, Ghost Ogre, all those other ones. You know, whatever traps you want, whatever spells you want. That's kind of how I would fill out the rest of this side deck. But that is the deck. Explained it to a certain degree, and then I will hop on over and show you guys how to do the combo here in a second. Alright, so we just hopped in real quick on one of these AIs. We're going to Prosperity. We got the Magician. We're going to see if we can dig for the Shark here. I just hopped in against one of their not very good opponents, just because I want to show you guys this combo uninterrupted. So we'll pick some targets that we don't need for the combo and hope we rip the Shark off of this. There he is. So we'll grab the Shark, and then I will show you guys how this is done. This does not matter. Boop. Alright, so Magician and Shark to start the combo. Boom, we will normal summon Magician. Activate the effect of Shark on the summon to special summon him. And the Magician's effect is going to activate, and we will grab a Rat. We're then going to link summon our Zen Maintenance, and then use his effect. So I will search the factory because that's what I do. It thins the deck a little bit, but obviously you could cut that factory, as I mentioned previously, to do whatever you want. So then we will Zen Maintenance for the new Rat in attack mode. That will trigger the factory, and we're going to search a new Shark. Shark specifically, it does matter because you need him to be able to keep summoning himself out of the hand. Rat's going to activate to grab a Magician. Shark will activate on Magician Summon to summon itself. Magician's going to activate, and we're going to grab another Magician. Then Shark is going to activate itself to move its level. You can go either way, it doesn't matter because you're going to link it away. But the goal is to use Magician again. So now here, the body you use doesn't matter. I would say if you're not going first, or if there's something on your opponent's side of the field, you would just grab cat to bounce it. Otherwise, it can be whatever you want, but we'll grab the cat just because having it in the graveyard also means that you can use rat to pull it back when you want to. So then we'll go into Boral End. So now I'll also mention, maybe you want to end on just like a big body, like access code or something else. You can end on whatever you want plus Bagooska, but Boral End just seems to be the most powerful. So we got our guys there, and then we'll overlay for Bagooska. And this board is actually fairly decent considering the deck you're working with. So that is the combo for Boral End plus Bagooska. Pretty straightforward, I guess. And this is ignoring everything else in your hand. So obviously we have another Link Arrow. We can go with Crown. We have the Monster Reborn, so we can rat into something else. Like we can rat and pull back any of our other windups. So you could make another crazy, probably like 4 special summons, 5 special summons from there, and keep building this board. But I just wanted to show you guys this basic combo put together here. So that is that. And that'll wrap up the deck profile for this week. So thank you guys once again for that 100 subs. Really means a lot to me. So once again, if you have not subbed and you like the content, please hit me with that sub, hit me with that like. If you have a comment, question about the deck profile or any other deck profiles, comment down below. Message me on my Instagram at libertalia_game_supply. And if you have requests for a deck you'd like to see me butcher in the future, you make sure to let me know. You guys have a nice day. See ya.